Hi, this is Ben with MakeUseOf.com, and today we've got something a little bit different for you. We're going to go over 60 internet slang words, acronyms, phrases, and other things like that that everyone who uses the internet should know. Now, if you've been online for a long time, you'll probably know some of these, but it can be a good refresher and you might not know all of them. So let's get started. Our first is AMA, which is an acronym that stands for Ask Me Anything. You'll typically see this on Reddit, where there's a whole subreddit devoted to the Ask Me Anything format. Usually it'll be something extreme like, I survived a plane crash 10 years ago, AMA, Ask Me Anything. So it's an invitation for people to ask you questions. Number 2 is another Reddit one, DAE, which stands for Does Anyone Else? You'll typically use this when you're expressing an opinion and you want to know if other people agree, like DAE, hate when the ketchup's empty at Burger King or something like that. It can also be used ironically, like in the picture here, where you say something and ask if anyone else does it when they obviously do. ELI5 is our next one. It's another Reddit common phrase. It stands for Explain Like I'm 5, and it's basically just a way to ask people to explain something to you in very simple terms. It doesn't literally mean to explain like you're 5 and use small baby words and things like that. Next is TIL, which stands for Today I Learned. It's just an easy way to say TIL, a fact or some story you never knew about before, just to share on social media or something, a new fact that you picked up. Next one is FTFY, which stands for Fix That For You. You can use this either ironically or seriously. If you use it seriously, you might point out a typo or a fact that somebody got incorrect and you reply with FTFY and fix the typo. Otherwise, you can use it, if someone says like, the iPhone is the best phone, you can say Android is the best phone, fix that for you, or something like that. Moving away from some of the Reddit ones, our next one is BAE. This can stand for Before Anyone Else as an acronym, but typically when you see BAE, it stands for babe. Going out tonight with BAE, that type of thing. The facepalm is pretty common. It's even an emoji now. Facepalm is kind of what it sounds like. It's just a way to express extreme disbelief, like seriously, you're so stupid that you would do that. If someone told you a story of something really dumb they did, you could facepalm just to show that you can't believe they were that stupid. Another really similar one is the head desk, which also shows frustration. If you're really angry at something, it's just not going your way, you might slam your head into your desk just to show that you're so sick of it, you can't stand it. SMH is another acronym. It stands for Shaking My Head. A lot of the time you'll see people use this in combination with like an observation online. Kids today don't know what real music is, SMH or something, and it just shows disapproval. HIFW stands for How I Feel When, or How I Felt When. Usually it is accompanied with a picture of a meme or something like that that you see here, a funny picture to show, how I feel when I'm done with my homework for the week or whatever, just in a way to exaggerate your feeling. Another double one next is MFW or MRW, which is My Face When, or My Reaction When. You'll also see it in a lot of memes, a lot of GIFs online, illustrating, my face when they say I have to come in on Saturday or something like that, just to illustrate how you're feeling. Another acronym, ICYMI, is In Case You Missed It. It's usually just a courtesy online to say, I already shared this, but in case you missed it, I'm gonna post this again. You might use it if you're sharing something on Twitter twice, or just a general update in case you missed it. This is a courtesy reminder for you. Next is IMO or IMHO, which is in my opinion or in my humble opinion. Just a way to say that what you're saying is your idea, not factual. It's just how you feel, and you can add humble in there if you want to. It's not necessary, but it kind of makes it a little bit more pretentious if you want. JSYK is a pretty common abbreviation. It stands for Just So You Know. Kind of like FYI, you can add it so it's just like letting somebody know that you're telling them something, but it's not urgent. Lulz, L-U-L-Z, is just a short word for laughs. I did it for the lulz or something, or it's all about the lulz, just a way to say laughs. IRL, another acronym, stands for In Real Life. It's an easy way to say that you're doing something in your life as opposed to your online persona. And a similar one to that is MIRL or Me IRL, which is me in real life. You'll typically see this with other memes and pictures like that illustrate, me in real life when someone does this, that type of thing. PAW stands for Parents Are Watching. This is an acronym that younger kids would use if they're doing something on their phone or talking to somebody and their parents are checking out what they're doing and they don't want to do something that might alert them. So this is kind of like a stealthy phrase. QFT is Quoted for Truth. This one can mean two things. It can mean you're agreeing with someone really strongly. If someone posts something that you just really agree with and you want to share it, you could say Quoted for Truth. Or If someone says something stupid that you want to use against them in the future, you could say quoted for truth and then pull that back out in the future if they do something dumb. Kind of something to keep in your pocket to embarrass them with. Next up is squad goals. This one can be a little bit hard to define because it can mean a few different things, but basically when you say squad goals, you're typically posting a picture with your friends and saying that this is like how we want our friend group to be, or you might post a picture of another group of people and say squad goals, like I wish my friend group was like this, as you can see here with the US Olympic team. TBT stands for Throwback Thursday. You'll see this pretty often on Instagram, where every Thursday is like a little mini occasion to post an old picture or something, looking back at the past. TLDR stands for Too Long Didn't Read. You'll see this on Reddit, but it's common other places too. If you post a large amount of text or share a video or something, it's a courtesy you can provide a TLDR, which is like a really brief summary if people don't want to read the entire thing. It's like a synopsis. YMMV is Your Mileage May Vary. This is a play on the phrase, your mileage may vary in a car or whatever, but basically you say this if you're giving somebody advice, maybe trying to fix a problem with their computer, you can say your mileage may vary, it might not work for you like it worked for me. DM is a direct message. This is pretty common on most social media sites. A direct message is just communication between you and another person that the public can't see. Before social media, this was often called a PM, private message, but you'll see this on Twitter and other social media sites commonly. YOLO is one you're probably familiar with. It stands for You Only Live Once. Sometimes you'll see it ironically used when someone's doing something stupid where they could really hurt them. You say YOLO. DIKY is another abbreviation. Do I know you? You can use that if somebody texts you or messages you and you have no idea who they are. You could just say, do I know you? I don't have this number. Extra is an adjective that means over the top. You might say that, her outfit is so extra, or the way that she was going on and on when she was talking in that speech was so extra. It just means unnecessarily over the top. IDK is I don't know. You can also add an E on that for I don't know either. It's just an easy way to, if someone asks you something, to say I don't know and move on. Ight, IGHT. All right, so the proper word for all right is ALL space right. All right, like you have on the screen here, is kind of like a shortening of that. I is another way, so IGHT is just yet another way to say all right. ILY stands for I love you. Not super common, but you might see some older folks use it, and that might be where it's more popular. But it's a quick way to say I love you if you don't have time to type out a full message. HBU is how about you. Maybe you'll say something like, I like this, HBU, just to quickly ask how someone else feels about something. LMK is let me know. Maybe you send someone a long message and you need their response. You can just include LMK at the bottom to let them know that you want to hear what they have to say before you proceed. Noob is short for a newbie or a newcomer to something. It's used a lot in gaming slang. Look at this noob, someone that has no idea how to play a game because they're new to it. Kind of derogatory, but doesn't always have to be. It can just mean that, I'm a noob, I don't know what I'm doing. NVM is never mind, just an easy way to, if you send someone a message and then you want to cancel it out because something changed, you just say never mind and cancel it. OFC is of course. Another texting easy slang. If someone asks you to do something, you say of course I'll do it, or if they ask you if you want something, you say of course. PNL is peace and love. It's kind of a way to sign off. People say peace to sign off on their message or video or whatever, so PNL is an easy way to say, peace and love, well, I'm out of here. ROFL is another long-time internet term you're probably familiar with. It stands for rolling on the floor laughing. You're probably actually not really doing that, but you can express how funny you find something by saying that you're rolling on the floor laughing. Selfie is another common one. It's just a picture you take of yourself. Typically, like you see this lady here doing it, you hold your phone out, take a picture of yourself. You can have a selfie with more than one person. Most phones nowadays have a camera facing towards you to take these pictures. Ship is a verb. This is one you might be familiar with in certain communities. So to ship some people is to kind of place them in a relationship in your head. So if there's like a TV show or a video game or something where there's two characters that you think should get together, you would say I ship them, and that means that you want them to be in a relationship. Sis, you've probably heard of bro. This is the female equivalent of that. So I'm going out tonight, bro. You would say you want to go out and get a drink, sis. I'm not a girl, so I'm not sure, but that's the idea there. Snatched means looking great. It can mean clothes or anything that's just looking good. So her dress is snatched. A similar term is on fleek. You can use that to say, her makeup is on fleek, just expressing that something looks good. You're approving it. SNMP, another acronym, is So Not My Problem. Maybe someone texts you complaining about something, you can say that's not my problem, like you see Reggie from Nintendo here saying. Stan is a term for a hardcore fan of something. It comes from a song by Eminem, also called Stan, that talks about an obsessive fan that he had in a story in the song. So, you know, he's a stan of Michael Jordan or whatever you would say. To express that he's like a hardcore fan that's obsessed with that person. Sus is short for suspect. Maybe you're saying something is shady. You can just say it's sus. TAY is thinking about you. Another texting lingo you can use to just let someone know that they're on your mind without typing out a full message. TBH is to be honest. You might use that when you're saying something online and you have to say TBH. You know, like frankly would be a synonym for this one. TTP is to the point. You might use this as a response to someone if they send a long rambling message. You might say, you know, get to the point. Or you might say to the point and then just say something briefly so they know that it's just the overall feeling that you're trying to get. QAP stands for quick as possible. Kind of self-explanatory. You want something done as soon as they can. I'm not sure why ASAP isn't good enough, but they use QAP too, so that's another one to know. Wheeling has two different meanings, but they're kind of similar. If you're wheeling, if a guy says he's wheeling, that means he's going out to try to pick up women. But wheeling is also this intermediary stage between like flirting and just getting to know somebody and like dating them. So if you're wheeling, also sometimes people call it talking, you're still kind of like seeing if you want to date somebody, but you're more than just like acquaintances. So it can mean either of those. YGTI is you get the idea. Pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you're listing a bunch of stuff, you can finish it with "you get the idea," just so people know that that's etc. would be a synonym. 45 is slang for some reason for Donald Trump, who's the 45th president. Obama was the 44th, so people use 45 as shorthand for President Trump. Star $sign stands for Starbucks. I guess if you're a real big fan of Starbucks, you might use that as slang, but it's not really that long to type out Starbucks every time. And then finally, NSFW stands for not safe for work. This is an acronym that means it's usually on some kind of content online, so it marks content that would not be something you want to open up at work. It's typically explicit material. It could be it could be a video that contains language or something, but it's usually sexually explicit material. So with that being said, we are going to cover a few acronyms you should know that are not safe for work. They're not sexual or anything like that, but they do contain some language. So if you're not interested in those or you don't want to hear that, you can end the video now. We thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to make use of YouTube channel. We post videos like this explaining things along with tips and tricks for Windows and other software, and we have giveaways of cool tech too. So final warning, if you don't want to hear some not safe for work language, please close the video now, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Okay, if you're sticking around, our last not safe for work definition is NSFL, which is not safe for life. Typically, this not safe for work content is something you wouldn't want to view at work or in front of your grandma. Not safe for life is something that might be disturbing no matter what. So it might be excessive gore or just really gross things that you probably don't want to see. So with that being said, we're going to get into a couple of the not safe for work phrases here. So STFU stands for shut the up. It's just a way to say shut up, but with a bit stronger of an emphasis. Next is LMAO or LMFAO, which stands for laughing my ass off, or adding in there. Just a way to say that you're laughing, and as you can see, the guy here is laughing so hard he lost his rear. See ya, CYA, that can be slang for see ya, like see you later, but often more just means cover your ass. Might just say that, you know, you need to CYA because you did something stupid or whatever. Defuck is what it sounds like. What the f? It's just short for defuck, like when you want to say, what was that? You know, just like that look on your face, like you have no idea what something was for. FML stands for my life. It's an acronym you'll see a lot of the time on sites where people are sharing, you know, things they did that are basically when you're complaining about your life, you know, something terrible happened, FML, because my life is miserable. That's typically what it stands for. And then our final one is IDGAF, another one that I don't give a just I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. Just a way to express that you don't need to worry about whatever it is because you don't care. And that's it. So if you watch the whole way through the not safe for work ones, thanks for watching. As we mentioned before, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content like this. Hope this benefited you, and maybe send it to somebody who's not as up on internet slang as you. But we'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching, and take care.